dorm, and we'll just see your perspective. So our first question is, how safe do you feel living on the floor with all the other residents?
I honestly feel pretty safe because as RAs, our job is to make sure y'all keep your doors locked and ensure that y'all are following housing policies, especially when it comes to guests. And with those policies in place, we know that our buildings are safe to the best of our ability, and we can hopefully avoid any problems happening.
All right, speaking of guests, on average, how many times do you think you see people that are non-residents of Nylons Hall walking around, like especially the third floor, but just in general when you're making your rounds?
I would say I see them at least 5 to 6 times a day at least, with individuals that live in the building who escort them through the building as per housing policies.
All right, my next question is, on average again, weekly, how many times do you think the police are called to come in the building? We know that they do their usual rounds and walkthroughs, but how many times do you think residents call them?
Residents typically don't call the police. It's typically the RAs that do. If the residents do call the police, we don't technically know about it. But I think on average, it's probably less than once a week. But obviously there are some weeks that there's more than once and twice, but it's okay. But typically the police aren't called that often, but they do rounds in the residence halls.
All right, so we know that usually on weekends it can get kind of crazy. Which floors do you think are the most active and which ones do you think are the most quiet?
Third floor, fourth floor are definitely the most active. First and second tend to be more quiet or laid back, but that's okay. I prefer the more hectic, chaotic floors. It keeps me entertained.
All right, now for the good stuff. Do you think there is heavy use or just any use at all of alcohol, weed, just any really drugs in general?
As a very experienced RA, I definitely know kids of y'all's age are definitely trying to drink and drugs and do whatever you want to do. I personally don't care about it, like as long as y'all are safe and smart about it. And I told residents this on day one, and I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but we definitely bust a lot of students with those on campus here, especially in this building. I think this year we made a record of, I'm going to say, about 500 cases so far this academic year, and it's the end of first semester. So, yeah.
So then, considering that, do you think it is a problem that we should start making progress towards to try to eliminate it, or at least make it like more safe, I guess, in a way? And if so, what would you suggest?
I honestly just tell my students to take it off campus because RAs in the residence halls shouldn't have to, like, we do deal with it, but it's just a major part of our job, honestly. But it is a problem that needs to be addressed. I just don't know how to fix it because students are going to do what they want to do, and it's part of the college, part of the college experience is going out and drinking and having fun in that case. But students need to realize that there's consequences to those actions, and maybe alcohol and drugs are not the right way to have those consequences brought into your life, but it is always there for you.
Well, that was all. Thank you so much, Bobby. All right, you guys, so now we are going down the resident hallways and we're going to ask the students themselves how they feel about living in the dorms. Oh, and we have company. All right, I am here with our first resident of the interviews on the third floor Nylons, Paige. So we're going to ask you a few questions and just answer honestly. Give us your full opinion. So the first question is, how safe do you feel living in the dorms?
I mean, I feel pretty safe. We can scan in and out of the dorms. There's also officers that are always like on our floor like every single weekend. So, and we have the ability to lock our doors if we feel scared or anything. So I feel pretty safe.
All right, my next question is, across the floor and across the dorms, if you even pay attention to the other floors, how often do you think substances like alcohol, weed, and other drugs are used?
They are constantly being used. You can constantly smell weed in the hallways at night sometimes. Other than that, like alcohol on weekends, of course, but...
Do you think it's a problem? Do you think it's causing issues and something should be done about it? And if so, what do you suggest?
I'm in my room a lot, so I don't know if it causes that many issues, or I'm outside the dorm, so I don't really see anything that happens at night. It definitely keeps people up. My door is constantly being knocked on at 1 a.m., but you know, it's okay. We live, love, and just live life.
All right, thank you, Paige, so much. That was hard.
Cut.
All right, my next resident on the third floor still is
Simon.
So my first question is, how safe do you feel living in the dorms?
I feel safe just because like my floor has a lot of cool people on it. So like I already made friends with people and like I trust them in a way. You know, you always gotta like watch your back no matter what, especially in new environments. But I feel safe on this floor. I understand something could happen. You know, this is real world. So.
My next question is, what floors do you think are the most active and which ones do you think are the quietest?
Third's the best floor. Fourth, like I've heard some stuff from there. First is just quiet, and second just as quiet as well. Definitely the third floor is just the most active for sure. That's just how we are out here. We're just active, and like all the other floors are just kind of like ass. And they probably wish they're done.
Okay. Times do you think the police are called to the dorms, not just doing walkthroughs, but actually being called by a resident?
I've never heard of that, or I've never seen like a cop here. So, I don't know. They don't really come here because like we're chill. We keep things under control, you know.
Start the camera.
We're getting interviewed, bro.
All right. From day-to-day life, how often do you see non-residents walking around the building?
Often, especially on this floor. You know, people just wish they were here. That's what I said. But other than that, I don't know. I don't mean to come off as like that, but like it's just true.
All right. How often do you see use of alcohol, weed, or other drugs around the floor and just in the building?
Never. Well, actually, there's this one time when I was like walking and I went through the first floor to get on the elevator and it smelled like weed. But other than that, I've never smelled like I've seen alcohol a couple of times, but like in the trash, like thrown out. So actually never like here.
So then, do you think it's a problem or no? And if you do, what do you suggest we should do about it?
I don't think it's a problem because if people can stay under control, it's okay. Like we're adults now, you know, we have to take care of our own lives. So if you don't make stupid decisions, you pay the stupid prices, right? So just be smart and yeah.
All right, that was all. Thank you so much, Simon.